You may consider this a kind of guided meditation. So feel free to get comfortable in a position or movement that allows you to listen. If that means lotus position, back straight, hands in mudra is great. If it means lying on your sides, if it means standing, no problem. If it means bouncing your leg, if it means fidgeting with something, that's okay too. Ultimately, the position of meditation is not important, as is the ability to absorb yourself in the subject. Whatever movement or stillness you find allows you to do that with ease, be affirmed in that. Tonight, I'd like to walk through the concept of limitations and what was the other thing? Freedom, that's right. I had to open my eyes to read that. We'll just begin with 3 conscious breaths at your own natural rhythm and speed. It is no doubt that this world is full of limitations. Our body can only do so much before it gets tired. Our muscles can only exert themselves so much as to lift that much weight. Our bones are only as strong as they are healthy. We are only as flexible as we practice our stretches. We are limited by space and time. We are limited by our culture, by our upbringing. We are limited by the laws of physics. Our mind has limitations based on our state of trauma and healing, based on our education, our vocabulary. We are limited by our motivations. There are limitations based on our government, limitations dependent on our genetics. And in spite of all these limitations, we all strive for a kind of freedom from them. We want to be free from the judgment of our past, which we could not control. We want to be free from the thoughts in our mind, which can appear at times to be intrusive. We wish to be free from our traumas, free from exclusion based on our gender, our age, our nationality, our religion. In spite of all these limitations, we aspire for freedom. And if that's true for you, maybe think about one thing in your life that you do feel limited by. Maybe that's in a relationship, an occupation, a belief system. I encourage you to bring to mind just one thing One limitation that you would like to be free from. Think about how your life has been impacted by that limitation. Think about the ways in which you've had to adapt according to that limitation. And consider how, above all, you know that you shouldn't be defined by it. That your true self, whatever that is not something that can be limited. Recognize that limitations are part of a physical world, but you are not physical. Notice that all of the limitations that one can think of merely arise according to our perceptions of it. Our perception of sight, sound, taste, smell, feeling, our perception of thought. All these limitations occur to us rather than as us. That we are something already beyond those limitations. Just not all at once. You can visualize a vast ocean, which by itself is formless. An ocean that expands in all directions. This ocean is the source of waves, is the source of ripples, is the source of tidal movement. It is the substrate of ice, icebergs, of steam. With this one vast ocean, many forms, many dances can be experienced. Yet any form that ocean expresses itself through will have a limitation. One wave is only going to stand so tall relative to another. Only if we are comparing the heights of waves does one appear as small or big. If we are pointing out the number of waves, only then we consider dividing one patch of the ocean from another, with one wave beginning and another ending. Consider the boundary that divides an iceberg from its ocean. Even though it's of the same essence, we see that an iceberg is here and over there it is not. Every form that this ocean takes appears to have a boundary to it, defining where one expression starts and another stops. In the drops of rain that fall, or that make up the mist and the clouds, there appears to be a region around it where it is not. The point of this visualization is to change our perception of what a limitation really means. Not as something that restricts the essence of something, but as an inevitability of taking form. So let us look at all the waves in the ocean, the icebergs, the drops of water, not according to limitations of the ocean, but as unique expressions. And since they share the same space to express themselves through, naturally it will appear as though one is bigger, one is smaller, one is over here and one is not. And as I pause the alarm on my phone, which is vibrating, consider the boundary of your own self. Thank you. That you have a region in which you feel that you are existing and outside you are not. That this is your identity and that is not. But just like an iceberg, a wave, or a drop of water, that is not because you are limited by essence, for you are the ocean. All of these things are just boundaries of the expression, together along with other expressions of the very same waters. In this universe too, nothing is limited, only shares boundaries, which when considered a part of one whole, are together as a great universe in shared identity. So consider your limitation, whatever it was that you brought to mind, as just one particular expression of this universe. A boundary between one form and another, whereas your true self is formless and contains even that which you feel limited by. And know, like all things in the ocean, this too shall change. Boundaries dissolve as icebergs melt into waters, or freeze to become larger, or break apart, or fuse into one. Raindrops fall to the ocean. Waves collapse and crash through each other. All of these boundaries, which we feel divided by, are subject to change, but our essence as one, as whole, always and forever. You are free in your formless nature. This universe is free in its infinite expressions. Your freedom is gained not when all boundaries are dissolved and limitations destroyed, but in recognizing that they never were restricting you at all. And we can take 3 more breaths, and if your eyes are closed, you can rub your eyes, open them up. Thank you for listening. Namaste.